What's going on, family? It is 11 a.m. East Coast time. Sundays. You know it's time for the Fighter Share Report. We had a busy weekend of fights. We're going to jump into what's going on, bro.
Hey man, like you said, we got a lot of things to discuss, a lot of craziness we saw
Yeah.
last night and Friday night. So I'm glad to be here with you, bro. It's kind of an overcast day out here in paradise, which is cool with me. We need the rain, so for the next couple days we might all be indoors, but it's better than being on fire. So let's hope we get that rain we need.
Yeah, most anything's better than being on fire, I guess, than unless you sit on an active drill. Check it out. We kind of rearrange our segments a little bit. We'll be right back. It can stay in the 30s. I'm good with it. 20s, 30s. I'm good with it.
I mean, when you got that natural insulation, bro, it's cool. I get it.
No,
For me,
real men come from the north, so we can deal with.
Oh, there we go. Okay, there we go. That sums it all up. That's
We can deal with the cold.
I'm saying these names not because they're essentially the best fighters out there, which we can make a case for Shakur Stevenson definitely. They just look that much better than whoever they fight.
I think you might want to keep this thing on the feet and stay any way possible. Stay away from that guillotine choke. He was squeezing Buddy's face in the last fight and put him out.
Come on, dog. Let's fight.
Welcome to the Fighter Share Report. Let's get it, y'all. We got 5 minutes. We're going to do the MMA recap. We have 3 MMA events that happened. Wednesday night. Did we do the ONE FC on Thursday? We didn't really talk about that, did we?
Nah, we didn't really get into that.
They really had one fight on there. It was a title fight. It was Christian Lee defeated Timothy Nesteyukin. I love that name, Timothy. It sounds so black, but he's not. By strikes, round 1, TKO, 113 of round 1. So, it wasn't that long of a broadcast. But then we went to April 16th, which was Friday, Bellator. Did you see it, bro?
I did indeed.
All right. So we have a spotlight segment coming up after the boxing recap. So I'm just kind of going through these fights. We can chew on them a little bit and kind of keep it moving. And then we'll pick out our favorite one that we saw and deal with it in the third segment. Vadim Nemkov defeated Phil Davis and to retain his Bellator light heavyweight title. I don't know about you, but didn't look close. I mean, it was 48-47 by all 3 judges, but I think
I mean it was a good fight. Phil didn't do enough. He could have, because at moments I was like, okay, he's going to turn the corner here, but he just didn't. Don't know if he wasn't motivated, which that shouldn't be a problem. He's already faced this guy once before. But yeah, the better. I mean, look, he worked harder. He did more. He kind of controlled the pace of the fight. He won it. I think Phil's going to look back at that fight and be disappointed in his performance, though. He just didn't do enough. And it wasn't because he couldn't. He just didn't. I don't know.
Corey Anderson won his fight by TKO, round 3, 215. Defeated him by strikes. Corey looked good.
Yeah, his opponent was strong. Yeah. But yeah, Corey looked good. He really couldn't. Once he was able to get him down, he was kind of able to hold him there. But his opponent was strong. It was a good fight while it was, but that ground and pound by Corey Anderson was impressive.
It was. And then Paul Daly defeated Sabah Hamasi. TKO round 2, 144. Sabah looked good until he didn't.
Yeah, I missed that fight. That's the one I didn't catch.
And did you see Vita Ortega versus Desiree Yanez?
Yes, that was also a good fight too.
Yeah, it was. It was. And somebody had it as a draw, 28-28. I don't know what fight they were watching.
I thought Loretta definitely, I mean, she was her strikes and her takedowns were definitely doing more damage to Yanez than Yanez against her. Exactly. But it was a good fight, all in all.
Yanez is a big kid. I can't wait to see her fight again. All right. So, UFC last night. Luis Pena defeated Alex Munoz. No discrepancy there, a split decision. Let's go to the co-main. Andre Arlovsky defeated Jay Sherman, dude, by decision. Dude, Andre Arlovsky.
Got a dub, man. But like you said, he was in there with a younger man. But Sherman didn't have. I mean, look, they were the same type of fighter. One guy was just a little bit younger than the other one. They both threw a couple of kicks here and there. Nobody really wanted to be on the ground. They just slugged it out.
Yeah.
Because of that, it was an entertaining fight, and the right man won. I thought Arlovsky came on later in the rounds. I did think round 2 and the end of round 1 was kind of getting away from him a little bit. But he definitely started really piecing up Sherman in the last round. And I think that's what got him the decision because I thought it was a pretty competitive fight.
It was. I was just shocked. Arlovsky won. Robert the Reaper Whitaker dominated Kelvin Gastelum.
Yeah.
Dominated.
Yeah, I was a little bit disappointed. But again, bro, like I said earlier in the week, and you and I both kind of, hinted at this. Robert Whitaker's no joke, bro. He was running the division for a reason. And now we see it. And it's looking more and more like he's going to get a rematch against Izzy at some point. Yeah. I don't see anybody beating him. I don't see Vettori beating him. Kevin Holland's too far in the back of the line to get a shot at him. Bro, I think that rematch is going to happen, bro. I feel like it needs to.
There's no another fight, and that's the problem with Izzy right now. He's dominated that division to the point where everybody's just a second shot.
Well, the good thing about it is Robert Whitaker has definitely separated himself from the pack. So it's Robert Whitaker, and then there's everyone else. So,
yeah, and it's going to be that way for a while.
Yeah, but I think, bro, real quick, we may see Whitaker against Vettori, though. You may get that before we get Whitaker versus Adesanya.
I thought that, but in the back of my mind, I don't think so. I think that next fight's going to be Adesanya versus Whitaker. But I think they'll fight 2 or 3 times more. I mean, because there's nobody's going to beat Robert Whitaker or Adesanya. All right, so we go to a boxing recap. Now, this was pretty awesome. I mean, we had some interesting competition this weekend. Real interesting competition this weekend. So let's start out with the Tony Harrison fight.
Yeah, the fight we were both wrong about. Yeah. Tony Harrison lost that fight, brother, but because of the business and because of what Tony Harrison has done in his championship performances, the business says that we have to keep him viable because we don't know if there's anyone out there that we feel like can be a real threat to Jermall Charlo, and that's including everyone else not named Tony Harrison. Tony Harrison has kind of established himself because of his performances against Charlo. He's beatable. He's very beatable, and he lost last night. But until someone else, an Erickson Lubin, or maybe this young kid, Sebastian Fundora, the towering 6'6", 6'7", 154-pounder, unless some of these guys can just kind of separate themselves from the pack, it's looking like Jermall Charlo and everybody else. And unfortunately, everybody else, to most fans, especially most common fans, it's Tony Harrison. So
I feel for Bryant Perella today because Bryant looked good. I don't know if it's the Roy Jones influence, and I know we'll deal with this in our spotlight, but he looked good. Shout out to him. Look, Demetrius Andrade got his win against Liam Williams.
Yeah, not impressive. A typical Boo Boo performance. Started out hot. Showed that there's levels to this. Showed that he is the guy that we both thought he still was. He did get caught a couple times, which, I mean, is normal. It's a little bit of ring rust there. But that just goes to show you how good this guy is, man. He ain't fought in how long? Against a guy with a pulse.
Yeah.
And he goes out and kind of wins going away.
Yeah.
So good for Boo Boo. I don't know what's next for him. I mean, he said that because he has a belt, doesn't have to be much of an incentive for the other guys at 160 to fight him. But we'll see, man.
Yeah, we'll see. I'm glad he got a strap. Listen, I guess this is considered boxing. Jake Paul knocked out of Ben Askren. Now, in all fairness, Ben Askren beat the 10 count and told the ref he was ready to continue.
Yeah, look, you're right. That's absolutely right, bro. That's true.
But
performance stopped a little bit too soon for me.
Yeah. Oh, wow. We agree?
Yeah. He was going to lose the fight, like I said he was, and he was going to get knocked out, but let him go out on his shield. He was hurt. He got up. He seemed to be recovered. He followed the ref's commands, but at the end of the day, safety first. So,
whatever.
Because and here's the thing, honestly, bro, because we already knew he was at such a disadvantage coming into the fight, and because we saw that disadvantage displayed in living color in the first minute and 30 seconds of the fight, Yeah, we knew how that was going to end. So I ain't the stoppage was definitely premature, but I ain't mad at the ref for stopping it.
Now the fight last night, the Tony Harrison fight, I think it was the opening bout. They had an up and coming guy, undefeated, 18 years old. Yeah. And what's the dude from
James Martin?
James Martin. Masterful boxing performance. Because when I tell you he was picked just to be the opponent, and when the opponent comes to fight, you better be ready. And Mount Nicky was not ready for what James was bringing in no way, shape, or form.
Yeah, and look, two things I want to point out here. One, Vito Monick is 17 years old.
18.
That's the first thing. Or 18.
Right.
Same difference. Secondly, there's levels to this, and it's like playing a pickup game of basketball with a guy from New York or coming to Florida and just jumping into football. Bro, records don't mean nothing. You fighting guys from the Eastern Seaboard. You talk about DC, Baltimore, Philly. Bro, he was 6-2, but bro.
And he's only 23.
Two losses came against, but boy, listen, he gave Vito a lesson.
Yeah, and he was only 23, so.
Yeah, and shouts out to Team Nicky for taking their lumps like a man and not making excuses. But this is going to make Vito a better fighter. It's going to make him a better fighter.
It is, and sometimes you're right. That going early like that is a good thing.
That's Canelo.
Ooh. There's some other things at play there, but yeah, you're right. But I like the way James came in. I love the way he came in. He was punching. I mean, I think he got more rounds than they gave him, but he got the victory.
Whoever that matchmaker was, he better not do that again. I can tell you that.
No, he might be looking for a job this morning.
Could be.
Look, we got a new segment called Spotlight. Pick a fight from this weekend, bro, that you want to jump in and talk about. It could be MMA, it could be boxing.
Yeah. Wow, so many. I'm going to talk about the Bryant Perella Tony Harrison fight only because that is a fight that I think both of us were watching with different intent. I don't think either one of us expected Bryant Perella to look as good as he did, and I don't think either one of us expected Tony Harrison to look not as good as he did.
Oh, well, wait a minute. We talked about the layoff for Harrison, so
yeah. I just think that Tony Harrison needed to fight more aggressively last night. When he boxed, he looked good in spots, but bro, he never sat down on any punches. He never fought any real aggression. He boxed, but he was getting beat to the punch. He wasn't first. He was following Perella a lot. And just, I don't know, but like you say, 16-month layoff. Listen, not having that one voice you've been hearing your whole life in your corner, not being there. Granted, you in there with your brother. There's a different type of bond there, but it's not the same as your pops. It's going to take a while, but here's something more important too. I'm going to say this, and I don't know if you're going to agree with me on this, but I don't know if it's going to burn the same for Tony Harrison ever again. And that's not a slight against him or his character. When you've got to the top, like he's gotten to the top, and you sacrificed and you've tasted it, and look at him as a person. Everything he's doing for that community in Detroit, everything his pops represented. I just don't know if that fire is going to burn the same anymore, bro. So this is a fight he asked for. Where does he go from here, bro? Do you put him in there with any of those top guys at 54, or maybe he just fought down to his competition? I don't know, bro, but that intrigued me.
I don't think he fought down to his competition. I thought his competition fought up. I thought Brian Perella came in better than anybody expected him to look. We've seen him throughout the years training. We've seen him in fights. We knew Brian Perella was a big kid at 47, and he probably belonged at 54. And like you said, that weight gain transferred into strength as well, and he did not lose his speed or his heart. So
always had that.
I attribute a lot of things to what Tony is going through, and you might be right, bro. That flame won't burn the same because your dad was feeding the kindling. So, listen, I want to talk about the Corey Anderson fight. I thought Corey Anderson did so much for his brand Friday night. He came in. He fought the fight he needed to fight. He was fighting. He wasn't fighting a chump. He was fighting somebody who legitimately people thought could beat him.
Had a chance.
Had a chance.
We've seen Corey look vulnerable.
Yes, but we didn't see that Friday in that tournament. And when you look at him as compared to, the main event, yeah, my mind is failing me, bro. The guy that fought Nemkov. My gosh, my mind is failing me. Don't look at me like that. You know who fought Nemkov? The black.
Oh yeah. Oh man, listen, bro, we're in the same space. I'm listening to you. I'm trying to figure it out in my head because I'm trying to talk about what Corey Anderson did and what he still has yet to do. And I'm with you. He did a lot for his brand, but he's not going to do nearly as much for his brand as he's going to do next month when he faces off against Ryan Bader. That's going to be the fight of all fights for him. Corey Anderson needs to win that fight. He needs to. If he loses against Ryan Bader, bro, then that means you can't beat the best at Bellator either.
Without a doubt. Because they're going to look at him like they look at Phil Davis this morning. Yeah. That's what I was trying to think of.
Yeah. And listen, and Phil, you know what? Let's keep this about Corey Anderson. He needs to win that fight against Ryan Bader, bro. They're very familiar with each other. They've been sparring partners. They've trained together, so they're really familiar. But yeah, Overtime has to win this fight. If he doesn't, man, I don't know where he goes from there.
And Bader is interesting because he still has that heavyweight championship in his back pocket.
Yeah. That's why I didn't say it was equally important for Bader. That's why I said it's definitely more important for Corey than it is for Ryan Bader.
Yeah. Good morning, Samantha, and good morning, Audrey. Glad to see both of y'all here this morning. I just think I like the way that Corey stepped up in that first round of the tournament. And you're right. He's going to have to keep it consistent. He's got to beat Bader to make it to the finals. And I think he has to win the tournament outright. Ooh. Right. And here's the beautiful thing. I don't see who's going to beat Nemkov before Nemkov makes it to the finals. Nemkov looked good. Your 2 minutes.
So listen, you already know what I'm here to talk about. I'm here to talk about Triller. I'm here to talk about Triller because Triller played an interesting part last night. They figured out a way to make combat sports entertaining for everybody. I know you're going to get tired of me saying this, but I got to say it. Alcohol, marijuana, and cocaine are not a good mix all at once. But
unless you're Oscar De La Hoya.
Man, it on and popping. And I'm not the only person last night was like, yo, somebody check Oscar's pocket, bro. Somebody check his pocket, somebody check under his fingernail, bro, because that boy was on it last night. And I know I couldn't have been the only one hearing it. The random bursts of shouts, just saying all kind of weird stuff. Triller got it right in a weird way. And I don't want to hear any of my boxing blowhards talk about, oh, it's bad for the sport. Listen, boxing did this to itself. And now they're here and they ain't going nowhere, bro. We got a real boxing match before we saw Jake Paul against Ben Askren, bro. We saw Regis Prograis stop Ivan Redkach in a very controversial fight. But listen, Triller needs to bring in their own replay team in their own judges, bro, so that way they can overturn that decision because what happened with Regis last night was a robbery. He should definitely get the credit for a knockout. We saw that shot on the replay. It was not an illegal shot. Redkach, who was being more of a character than a fighter himself, played it to a T, but that decision needs to be overturned. Regis should be rewarded for the knockout that he earned. But bro, Triller stole the show again last night, even with a decent UFC card, and even with a decent DAZN, well, not a decent DAZN card, a decent DAZN fight as a main event. And then what Fox put together, Triller again stole the show. So Uncle Dana and PBC and DAZN and everybody else, y'all better get y'all collect the coins together, get your production team together, and try to liven up y'all next broadcast because the way this is going, everybody will be fighting for Triller soon.
It's funny because I was talking about Triller as well because I saw something on Triller that I thought was hilarious. And one, the fact that Oscar De La Hoya said he's going to pick his next opponent and whoever it is, they're going to fight to the death. The second was the slap fight. The slap fight. And
this is your problem.
And to see somebody get knocked slap out, literally got knocked slap out. I was like, people paid for this. I would love, and I ain't gonna lie, I would do it. At my age now, I would get into a slap fight with somebody. I would do it. I would. Because there are a lot of people I've been wanting to slap for a long time. I would definitely. But they should have talked about the rules of the fight before. And that's the one thing that got me. But you have legitimate fighters mixed in with old fighters, mixed in with never were fighters. I mean, I guess that's the beauty of Triller. And then the concert performances to me were the worst part. They were, except for the Ice Cube, E40, Too Short, and Snoop performance. I thought that performance was kind of tight, but the rest of them, But again, yeah, I come from a performance background, and most of these artists couldn't hold a candle in a performance class, let alone put on a good show. They make their money as studio musicians, so I didn't look for much from that. But look, the slap fight, I think we need to have that in everyone. Every Triller needs a slap fight. It was beautiful, bro. It was beautiful. Maybe that's how you can fight Amanda Nunes in a slap fight. You're muted, bro.
That's never gonna happen, bro. It's over and done with. I'm good on Amanda.
No.
But Triller, go ahead and hire us, bro. Go ahead and hire us.
I was thinking that.
Hire us.
I was thinking that last night. I'm like, this is what we need to be.
Maybe we could do like all the pre-fight build up. Because, boy, yeah, that commentary was everything.
And then you got Al Bernstein thrown in the middle of it, trying to be legitimate.
Yeah, just trying not to get caught up. They done made Al smoke blunts. They got all, listen, Al's whole image is going to be completely stained by the time he leave these Triller cards, bro. Because they constantly messing with him the whole time.
And Ray Flores was cussing.
Ray Flores. I'm done, bro.
I was like, did Ray cuss? Listen, shout out to Audrey. Our prayers are with you. Shout out to Samantha. Our prayers are with you. Shout out to my wife, my daughter. Look, listen. Shout out to the Red Belly. Red Belly's on the brink of something. Shout out to the Red Belly. And shout out to Fighter Share Nation. All right, bro.
Yeah, man, we appreciate everybody for rocking with us today, man. We back tomorrow. We get to be a little more loose and more liberal, but we don't have to be so dressed up on this platform and talk about shit we already know. So in the meantime, y'all make sure y'all tap in with us tomorrow, same bad time. Well, actually 30 minutes earlier, 11 o'clock. Y'all make sure y'all spread a little love out there. Make sure y'all tune in tomorrow to catch us. Shots out to everybody that won and the losers last night because everybody got paid. We'll see y'all Monday. Fighter Nation, we out of here. Peace.
Peace.